Hello friends, good morning. So today let us see session 9 of the video lecture series on learning disability. Okay, and this session we are going to learn about how to enhance the visual and the auditory memory of the children. You see, as I was telling, memory is an important component in the learning process. So the children who are having difficulty in learning, the learning disability, will also have disability or difficulty in the memory. So we have to simultaneously work towards enhancing the memory part. So when that is done, it will help in their learning process also. Okay, there are two types of memory. One is visual, another one is auditory. Okay, so now let's see how to enhance the visual memory of the children. Okay, now we'll go age wise. Okay, for small children, like for example from 5 to 8 years of age, this is the time that we generally identify the kids with learning problems and learning disability. So if for this particular age, what we can do is we can show them a sheet with a row of lot of pictures. Okay, suppose there is a sheet, okay, and there are lot of pictures in it, like for example cat, ball, dog, food, bag, things like that. Maybe we can have around 5 pictures, or we can increase the number of pictures. That and all is in our hands. So only thing we need to stick pictures, or we can draw it, or we can do something. Okay, the teachers, this is for the teachers as well as for the parents. Okay, so when they are showing it and the child is asked to look at the sheet with all the pictures, and the child is told, note down everything, you will have to tell me the pictures in the order itself. So the child will look at it for around 10 seconds. After that, you have to remove the picture and ask the child to repeat, to say in order what did the child say. So the child should say cat, dog, ball, bat, according to the order which it saw. Okay, there will be mistakes. It's okay, no problem. You need not penalize, you can encourage the child and say that it's okay. I'll show you one more time. Now look at it carefully. Now again try to tell. So with not more of attempts, if the child is able to tell at least three pictures at a row, okay, properly on a sequence, then it means that the child has got adequate visual memory. So if the child is making mistake, after first picture, the second one the child is telling differently. So you have to note it down. Then you can understand that the child has got a problem in visual memory. So this activity is both a test to find out if the level of disability. At the same time, this can be used as a treatment also. Like every time you will have to show this, and we can see there will be improvement. So you have to note it down. The teacher or the parent, when we are giving any activity, we'll have to note down the time taken to complete it properly, or the types of mistakes that the child is doing, and how many times the improvement, so that we can see that whether there is improvement or not. So that is what we'll have to check. So this is one activity. When it comes to little older age, like 8 to 12 years, what we can do is we can show individual cards with pictures. So for example, a card will have a picture of a ball. You can show that, and after that and the child has to look at it for some time, observe it for 10 seconds, and then you'll have to remove the card and ask the child to draw what the child saw. So it need not be, if the child is drawing, that ball should be in round shape. If the child has not identified that it is a ball itself, then it will be totally distorted. So right from that itself we can see what kind of, how much the memory the child has got, and within 10 seconds how the child, see if it is a red color, then you have to keep things ready. So the child will not only draw but also will color it red. Suppose the child draws a ball but colors it in black, then there is a slight problem in memory. The child has not captured everything fully. So then you can say, now I am going to show you once again another card. Now look at it very carefully, and then you will have to draw without making any mistakes. So like that we can keep showing different cards with different pictures and ask the child to draw. So it will be fun for the child. At the same time, we are also checking the level of disability of the child, that is the visual memory disability. So there will be different kinds of, some children, they will completely rotate the pictures. So they have not registered how it was looking. Okay, whatever they felt, they started drawing. So that and all we can understand from the way they are drawing, from the way they are putting it in the paper, we can understand the different types of mistakes that the child is doing, and then accordingly we can correct, or we need not correct, like we can give them a lot of practice again and again and again, and with a lot of encouragement the child will be able to do it. So now these two activities can be, as I told you, can be used as a test as well as a treatment also. Now other activities or we can call it as games. Other games are, what we can do is we can keep a lot of things on the table, a lot of small things, big to small. We can keep a pen, and we can keep a mobile, we can keep a notebook, we can keep whatever is there in our house. But depending on the age of the child, don't keep too many things again. So depending on the age of the child and the interest of the child, and like that, the parents and teachers can modify these things accordingly. So the child has to watch it, observe it, and see how many things are there, what are the things and everything. And then we have to close the whole thing with a cloth. Or we can take the child away from that place and ask the child to, think and tell what were the things that the child had noticed. Okay, so that is something. So it is a bigger child, means we can ask the child to write, or we can ask the child to tell itself. We are only checking the visual memory. So we need not make the child write also. So we can tell. So how many mistakes the child is making, or how many correct things the child is telling, depends. So this is a very nice activity. We also can do it and check our memory, in fact. Okay, so the key point is, for after every activity the child has to be encouraged and motivated. So the child will feel it is a game and it will continue doing it. Okay, now that is about visual memory. Coming to auditory memory. Auditory memory is the memory that the child receives through the sensation of ears. That is auditory memory. So what can be done is that parents can read some sentences. Again, for age group of 5 to 8, this can be done. Parents or teachers can read some sentences to the child. Like, for example, the boy has a ball. The Sita is a good girl. Simple sentences like this, the teachers or the parents can read it, and the child has to listen to it. 2-3 times the teachers have to read it, and the child has to listen to it, and then we'll have to ask the child to repeat what we said. That's all. So we can say, like that, we can increase, we can make small sentences, or we can make little bigger sentences. How without any mistake correctly the child is able to tell the small and the big sentences. Or we can also do something. Immediately we can ask the child to repeat, or we can ask the child, we can read the sentence and give a time of 10 seconds or 20 seconds, and then ask the child to repeat what we said. So how much the child is able to retain that auditory memory. All these things can be done by this simple game or activity, and we can also note down. Remember, teachers and parents have to note down the time taken, the mistakes done, all those things. So that only will help us to analyze, and so that we can teach them much more and to see the improvement level of the children. For the age group of 8 to 12, what we can do is that parents or the teachers can read out a list of words. It's not reading a sentence, list of words, 2 at a time. Let me tell you, like big, small. So it's a pair of words, right? Big, small, dog, cat, tree, plant, like that. So at one time we can actually say three pairs or 4 pairs. Again, it all depends on our level. We can start from the basic, simple to complicated, simple to difficult. That's how we'll have to go. Straight away we should not go to the difficult level. The child will lose the motivation, will lose the interest. So we have to first make the child achieve, do something and encourage, so that the child will be interested to take it up as a challenge. Okay, so we can what the parents have to do is that read the pairs and then ask the child to listen to it, listen carefully, and then next is the teacher will say, now let me tell you the first part of the pair, you will have to tell me the second part. So the teacher will say big, and the child has to say small. And if the teacher says dog, the child has to say cat, because the child has listened and it has retained the information. The child will now tell. So again, note down the mistakes, how many correct things, how long the child is taking, all those things. You can tell 2-3 times. But if you are taking a lot of times to tell, then you can understand that the child has a difficulty in auditory memory. Okay, so that is for 8 to 12 years. Now again, we can make it little more difficult level. How means these are familiar pairs. Like I said, a dog, cat. These are familiar. Big, small or familiar pairs. Okay, tree, plant and all. Now we can have make pairs which are not familiar at all. Now this will be a little more difficult for the child to retain, but we are giving training only, no? So we'll have to do that. For example, unfamiliar pairs are cow, spoon. Say they are totally unfamiliar, but let's make a pair of it. Cow, spoon, boy, stick, pen, food, like that. So let's only say 3 words, 3 pairs at the time, and ask the child to listen attentively. Then we'll have to say, now tell me, cow, what came after that? So if the child is able to tell spoon, then even for unfamiliar words, the child is able to remember. This is how we can train, and this is how we can assess the auditory memory of the children. So this is very simple and very easily we can do. The only thing is that parents and teachers have to be prepared. They'll have to be ready with these words. You know, I mean, we have to really be prepared for teaching the children with learning disability. Only then the child will be benefited. Okay, so it is in our hands. And some of the other games, what we can do is that it's very interesting. In fact, the child is asked to watch the parent or the teacher do a few works. Okay, child will be sitting on a sofa and the parent will be doing something. And the works should involve production of the sound. Okay, like for example, tapping a pencil. If I'm just walking, the child is observing me. I can just keep tapping the pencil like this. So that is, I'm producing a sound and the child is listening to it. And I can also open and close a drawer where again the sound is heard. Or I can, clap hands. So I can do something or the other. So child is observing me doing things which is producing sound. Okay. So the child is observing visually only. And after that, what we can do is that we have to ask the child to close the eyes. Okay. We have to ask the child to close the eyes and then listen to the sounds. We'll have to do it again. Okay, we'll have to do it. And then we'll have to say, what are the different sounds you heard? How many times did I clap my hands? How many times did I tap the pencil? So if the child is, this will also improve the concentration level, attention level. Okay, so this can be done very easily. You can just do 3 activities and then you can analyze and check the auditory memory. The child will enjoy working and the bonding also will really improve. So this is one activity or game. Another game can be like, the parents or the teachers have to drop something in a container. Okay, in a container, we can drop small stones or we can drop small seeds or whatever it is, something that produces sound. Something that produces sound. So we'll have to ask the child to listen and count how many times I am dropping. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, the child first will observe and then we have to ask the child to close the eyes and then observe and listen. And listen and count the number of times the child is hearing that dropping sound. So again, it is improving the concentration and it is improving the memory also. It is the child is taking effort to improve the auditory memory. Okay, so these are the things that, and first what we can do is, we have to ask the child to count loudly. Okay, whenever I am dropping things, the child will count 1, 2, 3. The child will count loudly, so we also can hear. So that is little easier way. The child can remember or retain. Next level, what we have to tell is, we have to tell the child is, now don't count loudly. Count in your mind itself, and then tell me the correct thing after I finish this game. So that takes little more effort. So from simple to complex, we'll have to take the child and make the child do it. So this will help in improving their auditory memory. Now you would have heard how simple things are. So the ultimate thing is that how consistently we are doing it, how often we are doing it, how many practice we are giving it, what lot of fun is attached to it, and how much of encouragement we are giving to it is what ultimately matters. Okay, so I hope this video was useful. If you are able to practice this, you can see a lot of improvement in your kids' memory enhancement. Okay, thank you and God bless.